The tool Tetris in my garage was not complex enough. Not only was I playing around trying to finish up the jointer, found on Craigslist an ad that was just too good to pass up. This is a little Craftsman 1938 era lathe. It'll do 6 inches max and 18 inches long. And it comes with 3-jaw chuck, 4-jaw chuck, face plates, parts, drilling attachments, those sorts of things, some tools, the belt piece to adjust the speeds, motor, another box of stuff, including the milling attachment, which means you could do milling on small jobs on it. And it's in decent condition. Gears are not worn. The person who had it took really good care of it. He was a machinist, so he took very good care of it. He made sure everything was clean. He made sure that the oil was all topped up and everything. Very, very cool. The only problem with that is, where am I going to put it? As you see, it's on a table in my main work area in the spot where I've been doing all of the jointer work, and you can even see the jointer pieces are down underneath and behind. Well, it can't stay here, obviously, because if for no other reason I lose my workspace of where I've been doing the jointer restoration. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get rid of and clean this stuff up and make a bench on this side. To that end, I had a plan, and then I went to Home Depot, and the plan shifted. So this thing is a Simpson Strong Tie workbench hardware kit. Originally, I was going to do 4x4s for the corners, and I was going to use Simpson Strong Ties to tie in the 4x4 with the two 2x4s coming into the side. Well, they didn't have those at the Home Depot I went to, but they had this on the shelf right next to where that's supposed to be. So theoretically, this plus those pieces of boards will make you a 2-tier workbench, and this actually has for like a backing piece. I don't know if I'm going to do the backing piece, but I was debating on having something up to like keep things from rolling off the back. So I guess what the plan is, I got some more plywood. I had a bunch of 2x4s. I got a few more 2x4s just in case. I think what I'm going to do is on making a bench to set it on. The guy was nice enough as well to give me the piece of plywood it was on. I didn't get the stand because it was too big and it was a really awesome welded metal stand. I didn't get that because it would not have fit in the Blazer, and I didn't want to roll it for a mile and a half to get it home. That would have worked, but that would have sucked. So once I get things more sorted and it up on the new bench, well, I'm definitely going to do an in-depth thing on the lathe because there's little bits where the paint come off and stuff. So you know me. By this point, if you watched enough of my videos, you know me. I can't just leave it like that. I'm going to have to just clean it up and paint it nice. And plus that way, if I take things apart carefully and clean them up nice, I better understand the inner workings of it and understand what I need to do to take care of it, like with the drill presses that I redid. I now understand all the parts, so I understand where to lube all the things, what's supposed to go, all the knobs. And having not used a lathe much before, I've watched enough videos that I know a lot of the things. Like this is the tailstock, this is for doing the cross slide motion and stuff. This is for doing the threads, because he also gave me a really good tutorial, when he was showing me how it worked. This is to move it back and forth along the bed. So as with any stand project, first you cut the wood. There's basically 4 different sizes, and I managed to scrub 2 of them, which I explain later. But basically there's the top, bottom, front, and back are all supposed to be the same size. I made the 2 fronts an 1/8 inch bigger, which is not recommended. Then there's the 4 side pieces, and then there's the legs. So here I'm working and putting the Simpson Strong Ties together with the included screws. I like those. They attach decently okay. As I was working on this, especially after I was playing around with trying to get it square because I didn't realize I had an 1/8 inch too long on 2 pieces, I remembered why I don't like using these for benches, especially for flip-top benches. I highly do not recommend them for that because you need a flip-top bench to be very symmetrical and measured, and these do not lend themselves because they're slightly different sizes and they hold the boards slightly different sizes, and yeah, don't recommend that. Got the frame all put together, and now I'm working on the legs. So I realized that I need to trim out the section where it sits over the metal, and then I was able to get it sorted. And those are pieces of the 4x8 that I got back from the jointer, sending the head out and bringing it back. And I realized, okay, it's close, but these are somewhat rough 2x4s. If I had the jointer working, I could use that, but as it was, I just put the 60 grit sandpaper and got it flat, got the wheels all sorted, screwed those down in, with long screws, drilled and screwed. And that worked. And got the other side similarly. And I got the wheels on, cleaned up a bit, and it rolls. And then I realized it's not square, and I didn't find out till halfway through this part as to why. But at that point, it's too late. I had so many pieces in place to take that apart again and trim off 1/8 of an inch. That's not going to work. So I squared up the one side on the right, which is where I'm going to probably put the shelving, or I should say the set of drawers I'm going to put under. I put that on the right, squared that up on the right. As it goes to the left, it gets more and more skewed slightly because that's where the 1/8 inch ended up taking effect. But using the pipe clamps, I was able to get it squared up, and I'm hoping this is, with all those 2x4s in place, that's going to make the top rigid enough for the lathe to sit on and not tweak things. I got lucky in that where I ended up having those braces did not impact where the holes go down through in the piece of plywood that has the mounting holes on. So here I cut off the edge because it was too wide, and then I was like, okay, I want to put an edge along the back so stuff doesn't roll off. So I just nailed that piece that I cut off onto the side. And there I'm marking to where the pieces of 2x4 are, so I know where to screw down through. And then went through, drilled and screwed, and put a combination of long screws and shorter screws down in. So it's a two-piece plywood top. The under piece is screwed down, and then the top piece is screwed down through both. And then I start drilling and putting things in place. And that worked decently well. It's not in the final position. I'm going to do that when I clean it up, but it worked. So that's cool. This is why I have to clean up and get rid of stuff. I have a little path over here, a little path over to there with my bench, computer, and that sort of area. This table that has to go away now that I've got this built. And now this is built, and this is actually going to go here, but I have to finish this first, then get rid of that. And as you saw on the time lapse, this is the board that I got with the lathe. It has all the bolt holes, so I have the frame, piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and then the 1/2 inch plywood. So that's all screwed down in a bunch of spots. Hopefully it's enough. We'll see. But here's the lathe. So this belt goes up onto here, and depending on how that gets lined up as to which speed and such you do, this moves back and forth, and this engages and disengages with that lever to tighten things. That belt comes in down into this direction. The belt is supposed to come down into this area. Yeah, that's fine. I have this down. I have this down this way instead of clear up where it's supposed to go, so that I can go the whole way around it. So it is the Craftsman. And put your fingers in the way, sure. There's the badge on there. And like I said, it has the gears. And it has the table inside to show all of the threads for the chart. It has all the little oiling ports. This has the Babbitt bearings. So it has the little oiling ports and such. 3-jaw chuck. The 4-jaw chuck is in the box of stuff. And then this moves back and forth, which is nice. The rest of it's all locked down for shipping between his place and my tailstock works. It's a little bent, the handle is, but it runs fine. So when I take it apart to clean it, I'll have to see if it needs redone or anything. And there's badges on the back, which is going to be too dark. There we go. There's numbers. This top one says 101.07301. The bottom number is serial number 6L026017 for the serial number. So I'm guessing that, and the serial number probably has a date code or something related to And then here's the backside. It says 2 and then L9 2A there. And the motor, there we go. The model of the motor is 5KC45PGIF. It's a General Electric AC motor. It's a 3/4 horsepower. FR says 56. I don't know what FR is offhand. Voltage 115/230, single phase. RPM 1725. Code K 21. That middle part is 219501. What is under that little sticker? I'm guessing that's a sales sticker of some sort. All that, and there wasn't anything under there anyway, and we couldn't read the sticker. So that says 219501. Down here, oh, come on, light. I'm guessing that's supposed to be volt amps. 10.8, probably on 110. 5.4 on 230 or 220. CV60, I'm guessing that's 60. I don't know what CV is. 40C is max operating temp, I'm guessing. SF125. Time rating continuous. And that bottom is serial number WL. Let's see, WL. And that's just, no, WVL is the serial number from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Made in USA, NP219403. And then this other side talks about the lubrication. That's the lathe, and it will be installed on here, at least temporarily, so I can get everything off there and finish the joiner stuff, and then I'll probably go back and revisit and redo all this. So next is just bolt down the lathe. All right, all 3 pieces are bolted down. I don't have the belt on because I'm not ready to do that part. I'm not ready to do the alignment, and I need to make sure that this is level with itself and not twisted. The only thing I have to worry about is I am going to make a set of shelves for underneath. Haven't decided yet if it's going to be on the far right side or shifted in some with, or I should say, I'm going to make a set of drawers. So I got 4 drawers slides. I got a bunch of plywood, but that can be a different project. It does not have to wait on this. Again, I don't really like these. If you want precision, don't use these. If you just want something slapped together that mostly works, these would work fine. They do come with the 100 pack of screws, and I used all but 4 screws, so that was good that they sent the pack. As you can see, these here, and probably in the video, I put 2x4s, strengthening it the whole way across and bolted this together. So that should make this top a nice and stiff thing. I'm not 100% sure that the wheels, when they're all locked in place, depending on where it is on the floor, if that's going to be sturdy enough for the lathe. Hopefully it will, and it won't vibrate too much. And I can always add more weight on the bottom. You know, I can put more 2x4s underneath or something and put, 2 inches of cement tiles or cement or sand or who knows down underneath, because when I do the drawers, it's going to go above this and below here, so I have that 2.5 inches down there, or 3 inches, whatever, 3.5 to fill in if I need to. And because this was 25.5 or so inches deep, and I wanted to make a backsplash anyway, I cut that off, and then I just nailed it on. So that way, if stuff rolls, it stops instead of going down the back, which should be useful, and it's not too high to be in the way. So that's good. I still got to get a cookie tray or something for my chip tray. Just a cheap one. And that should work. But yeah, I'm happy. This is what I wanted, or I should say, this is what I needed to get done, having that on the cart, so that I can get rid of this table so I can do more jointer work. Because, like I said, I need to get the jointer done first before I can play with this. But now this is on a cart, I can take this table back down, put the rest of the parts for the lathe on the cart, get everything cleaned up, and then I can get back to the jointer. I got to get that done first. But I'm very happy with this so far. No, I haven't used it. No, I haven't set it up. But it's here, and it fits on the mobile cart. I thought about gluing the tops together to make it more solid. I just put a bunch of screws, because that way if this top gets ruined, then I can just unscrew it, screw another one down, and I'm good to go. Whereas if I glued it, then that's more muss, more fuss, more everything else. Yeah, very cool. I am happy.